Good everyone. Today is Friday, June 13th, 2025. Update for Monday the 16th. All right, let's go. Well, as far as setups, I replaced CURI with MATH. Carry is a little too deep in the pullback, and we'll take a look at that in just 1 second. This one is a little risky. It's somewhat thin. It is lower price, and the HV is right at triple digits. So consider yourself warned, but I do like the way it looks, and we'll take a look at that in just 1 second. Decent day in the portfolio. It's nice to keep your head while everyone else is losing theirs, not to be shot on Friday, but following along lately, the only thing that really triggered in here has been the golds, and that's kind of nice to be long gold on a day like today. But anyway, not being shot on Friday. Bump your stop on the TFPM. It's banging out new closing highs on a little bit of vigor. KGC also at new closing highs. But let's wait for it to get a little bit higher before we start trailing that stop higher just yet. I'm letting it open up a little bit on that one. CURI, as you can see, continues to implode in here. Hey, no capital puts in the harm's way. That's the beauty of the TKO type of setup. Speaking of TKOs, he tried to say, math is a nice little knockout move, nice persistent move higher. Is a lower price stock. Again, HV is kind of high, can be a little thin, and it is a foreign stock too. So consider yourself warned on that one. Let's take a look at the portfolio real quick, and then we'll pop out to the overall market. KGC right here at new closing highs, but not by much. So that's why we didn't bump the stop on that one. But any additional strength, we will begin to tighten that stop up. TFPM, bam, winning right here at all-time highs. So far, so good. The off its best levels was still up, a decent amount nonetheless. Let's take a look at the overall market and drill down a bit. Quite a few things to go over tonight. First of all, let's take a look at the P's. S&P 500 selling off fairly hard. Not the end of the world, but as I've been saying quite a bit, when you're at an inflection point such as old highs and resistance and overbought, a down day looks fairly ugly. So it's not a pretty day, but one up day obviously would negate that. But we do and should obviously pay attention to the situation. And one thing to look at here is we did pull back to the recent little breakout. It's no big deal just yet, but we'll keep an eye on things day by day. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ composite. NASDAQ composite getting whacked fairly hard, down 1.33%. It too stalling right at the prior highs. Obviously, I want to see this market get through those prior highs and overhead supply and not look back for a while. Let's take a look at the Rusty 2000, as you expect, getting whacked today, down nearly 2%. This action has it stalling at this overhead supply and has it coming back in to its recent breakout. Again, when you're at an inflection point, it looks kind of ugly when the market gets hit hard like that. Gold, the commodity, bam, winning, closing at brand new highs. Gold stocks following suit. Not a bad day there. So far, so good. As we go through the sectors, a lot of things I've been saying lately still apply. A lot of areas still below overhead supply, and then getting whacked today makes them look a little bit worse. Cybersecurity so far hanging in there, just barely breaking out past the prior peak in here. But ideally, I want to see some upside follow through before getting too excited. Biotechnology, not down too much, but it has its work cut out for it. Lots and lots of overhead supply there. Transports, if I could find them. There they are. Transports sold off fairly hard. They're below lots of overhead supply, and they're looking somewhat ugly in here, so I would leave that area alone, obviously. Defense doing pretty good right here, just shy of all-time highs. So we could see, again, some setups there fairly soon. As you would imagine, jets within transports not doing so hot in here, given the situation. Take a look at MAGs, still below tons of overhead supply. Off its worst levels, but still down fairly hard nonetheless. Robotics and AI, you guessed it, below some resistance, getting whacked fairly hard in here. Take a look at cloud computing. Another one's area stalling at the overhead supply. Rare earths and other rare metals doing okay in here. Industrial metals such as silver, down a little today, but recently they've broken out and they've gone pretty much straight up, as I've been saying quite a bit. Physical platinum getting hit fairly hard today, but so far looks pretty good. We might see some setups in these areas, obviously. Semiconductors getting hit fairly hard. This action has them stalling just shy of these prior highs and obviously a little bit further away, but stalling short of their all time highs. Social media getting whacked pretty hard after just tagging the prior high. So a lot of that type of action happening. Again, some areas like the rare earth still doing okay. Uranium up a little in here. Pretty serious uptrend remaining intact there. Telecom stalling right at the prior peak in here, so that's a little bit of a bummer. Financial selling off fairly hard, so now we have short-term resistance and longer-term resistance there. So that's looking a little bit ugly, at least at the moment. Obviously, 1 or 2 big up days would make a big difference, but pay attention to the situation here because it's beginning to look a little toppy. Energies continue to rally, but they've got their work cut out for them, as I've been saying quite a bit, so hard to get excited about that. Retail stalling out fairly in a fairly serious way, as you can see, down 2.33% basis the XRT, stalling right at this overhead supply. So a lot of these areas are running into trouble at the resistance levels, as you would expect on a down day like this, again, when you're at an inflection point. So sit tight, wait for entries, be super selective, and mostly just be patient. Everybody have a fantastic night. If you have any questions, Landry.com. Everybody enjoy your weekend. And we'll be checking in, hopefully not checking out, checking it throughout the weekend on Facebook. So feel free to hit me up there too. Again, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday, if not sooner.